Joe is back with me this time, and we have 2 weeks worth of things to tell you about, but not as much traveling.
So it will be more boring.
I'm Jendi. My husband Joe and I have entered a new season of life with our 3 kids mostly out of the nest. We're grateful to be representatives for a nonprofit Bible publishing ministry, so we spend a lot of time traveling to churches, sharing all the amazing things God is doing through this ministry, and raising the support we need.
2 Sundays ago, we were in the Port Huron, Michigan area and visiting a church and some interesting connections there. I was able to present and share our ministry for the Bible school service. We had a lunch with them.
Yep. And then the afternoon service.
Yes. Had a very good time with them.
And then we rested in the hotel through the evening because of the 7-hour trip. We just decided to travel back on Monday. And it was fun anyways because they had a really good breakfast at the hotel.
Yes, on Monday they have bacon.
And then we also tried these weird Paris Hilton waffles.
Pink waffles,
yes. They weren't any good. They tasted like crunch berries.
Yeah, so we took Captain Crunchberry and made it into a waffle.
Yeah. We didn't finish it, but we wanted to try it. But unlimited bacon for the win.
I think the lady was getting suspicious. She kept going out and there was like 2 people at the table and the bacon was disappearing.
Yeah, I do remember her coming out to check.
Kind of looking at it, I was like, oh, what are you guys doing? I was eating it real quick, so there's only like 3 pieces on my plate. So Monday, then we traveled the rest of the day. It was about 7 hours heading back. It wasn't bad.
It actually seemed to go faster than I thought.
Yeah, it went pretty quick. It wasn't bad at all.
Tuesday, we got up early and headed into the print shop. We felt like we had a lot that we had to do, but it was a busy day with volunteers, thankfully. We also had a pizza party for the one guy's birthday, so that brought a lot of people in. They're working on English Bibles to go to Malawi. We're putting a special dedication page in the front that has to be done a lot by hand. So they were helping us with that and helping a little bit with the Spanish John and Romans. Still some
collating and stapling for those.
He went back in on Wednesday. I didn't go in on Wednesday and printed a small booklet for our home church mission conference.
Yes, they hand out. And also worked on a small trimmer to get that set up to trim the Spanish John Romans that we've been working on because our big trimmer has been tied up doing the whole Bibles that are going to Malawi. So we're just trying to keep the projects rolling as they work on them.
Yeah. I went in to work at the local arts center where I work at. I did that Wednesday and Thursday morning. Also on Thursday morning, we finished filming for a silly video that I wanted to make that seems to have brought joy to a bunch of people. So we're glad for that. And I'll share some of the bloopers here.
And nobody was injured in the making of these videos.
Joe got sick on Friday. Worse, I know the last video that we did, he was feeling under the weather, and I think you kind of struggled through for a little while, and then Friday.
I had to push a couple more days, and then it just took me out on Friday.
Yeah.
I just had to rest. It was time to stop for a little bit. So
yeah.
Doing better now, much better.
Yes. And then I worked on cleaning the house and buying groceries. I did go to work for 4 hours in the evening. Then I continued that through to Saturday, cleaning and doing some food prep for Sunday because our daughter was bringing some college students home for Sunday. But then Saturday night, we had the meal with all the missionaries. That's kind of like the kickoff of our home church's mission conference.
Sunday, we were at Wildwood at our church because that was the official service for missions to start off everything. We had lunch with Christina and her friends, the dinner that my wife prepared. All I had to do was make bread.
Back again in the evening. That takes us to Monday, where you got up early.
Yeah, I have a person that calls me every now and then to do some handiwork, and I stopped by to give them an idea of some projects they were looking at, ideas what they could do. And then I got back home and I started winterizing Gracie, and I was able to at least get the lines protected so I wouldn't have to worry about freezing. And then we went to a couple's house that volunteers at their shop. Their gas fireplace wasn't working, and she would like to have it working for their holidays, which I understand that. If I had a gas fireplace, I would want it to work too. I took the morning and fellowship with them and tore it apart. But they
She
fed
fed
us
lunch
and dessert.
Yeah. And she is dog sitting a friend's dog that I got to play with. And they are just such an encouragement and blessing to us, and prayer warriors for Bearing Precious Seed for sure. Tuesday, the shop was closed then the rest of this week because our home church had a mission conference. So all the Bearing Precious Seed staff was at the mission conference. Actually started Monday night. We had a meeting with, at the church with everybody. Then Tuesday morning started the seminar. Our pastor does seminar days for the missionaries. So we have seminar from about 9 to 4, and then we have church in the evening for everybody. Then Wednesday again to the seminar at 9 a.m. And if you want a good seat, you got to get there a little early because we fill up the back first. So if you don't want to sit in the front and get picked on, you can't be late. The same on Wednesday, except we added in the meal. It was Bearing Precious Seed's turn to feed the visiting missionaries. So we were there most of the day on Wednesday. But then that night, I was just could not hardly stay awake. And so he brought me home early, and I went right to bed and slept for at least 10 hours. Because
she blamed me for making her sick.
We got up again Thursday morning for one more seminar, but it had snowed overnight.
It was enough to cover everything. It was about an inch or so, which isn't a lot, but it was enough to make it awkward, and I had to use four-wheel drive in the intersection because it was packed and ice.
Yeah.
And
we finished the seminar then about 4:00 and got back home, and then Friday.
Did little to nothing.
Did little to nothing. Friday, it was nice to sleep in a little bit.
Yeah, it took time sleeping in a little bit. I had the task of finishing Gracie, getting it winterized, and then driving over to our friends from the church that has a building that we were able to put it in. So it's kind of undercover, not heated, but it'll be nicely protected in a nice area.
He's a church member and gives a discount to the missionaries. And our friend that has had a motorhome in different states recommended that I put cloves around to keep the mice out. And I like the smell of them as well. So I'd gotten these bags to put in the camper. I did go to work Friday night, and Christina came home from college for Thanksgiving break.
And then Saturday, another friend from the church was having issues with their heating, and the emergency heat was working. I went over, inspected it, wasn't able to do the repair that day, but since then I've been able to go back and take care of that. And then it was just working around the house and trying to get a few things caught up for the week. I know it was kind of boring.
Yeah, it's nice to have some boring sometimes. Yeah, so that's a whirlwind of 2 weeks. Let us know if you have any questions or concerns. And thank you so much for watching. We'll try to make a video again next week.